All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, Great Millstone, who teach very well, while not this truth from his citation out there to the hopeful, let me continue to preach the word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And today, man, just basically, we at the end of Babylon, the end of this modern day society where the so-called white man is on top, man. And ultimately, after this guy get taken down, then peace will be able to flourish throughout the whole planet Earth, man. Let's go ahead and start off right here. This is the book of 2nd Ezra. This 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, and I'm going to jump down to the point. I'm going to start at verse 26. It says, Then answered he me, and said, The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel. For the world hasteneth fast to pass away. Now that world right here is talking about a rulership, man. Because this current rulership, this current reign of the heathen is coming into an end. And the reason how we know that is because Esau's on top. Job 9 and 24 is being fulfilled right before our eyes. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in the time to come, for this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. And that's it, man. Why? Because the wicked is in rule. What it says that in the book of Sirach, the 10th chapter, when the righteous, the wise king is the benefit of the people, but if it's a wicked and unwise king, so shall be the people. So ultimately, this guy have a wicked vibration throughout the whole planet Earth. That's the reason why he pushed forth the LGBT spirit. He pushed forth the spirit of YOLO, do as thou want. And ultimately, they pushing forth the spirit of not reverencing Yahweh Bahashim and Yahweh Shai. They want you to think that they're God. And ultimately, once you think that you're God, and that proud spirit get upon you, like it says in the book Sirach, the 10th chapter, the only thing you can do is pour out abominations. And that's the reason why these niggas created Epstein Island. It's the reason why these niggas have NAMBLA, the men's and little boys lovers association. It's the reason why these things happen. And why? Because the wicked are in power. Job 9 and 24. And we're coming into the latter end. Why? Because now this guy have been exposed. We've been knew that this nigga was a freak sicko. But again, these Americans just got on point with it. And even on top of that, they really don't care. This Epstein thing have hidden the back seat. While ultimately, this nigga is still raging war over there in the Middle East. There's a lot of things this nigga's doing upon the planet Earth that he is not getting checked by. But the reason why he's not getting checked, because Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is finna get ready to check him, man. Cain is finna get ready to get judged sevenfold, and Amalek is going to get judged 7 and 70-folds. Let's go ahead and continue on, though. It says, But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. And that evil being sown is really this system, because it tells us that in the book of Revelations, the 14th chapter, how the planet Earth was ripe. Let's go ahead and get that. That's how we know that we're coming into an end. And we're coming into the time where the Lord is finna get ready to judge the wicked, the so-called white man. So again, this place was planted in 1776, and throughout the process of time, this guy have been only bearing the fruit of wickedness. Let's go ahead and get this in the book of Revelations 14. Yep, this Revelations 14, and I'm gonna start at verse. Let's start at verse 13. It says, And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth, Yeah, saith the Spirit. Yes, because it's going to be people that's going to get put down here in these latter days for righteousness' sake. But that's the best way to go out, because now you got a crown of life. Let's continue on, though. It says that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. Yes, they're those righteous works. Continuing on, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat unto the sun, one sat like unto the Son of Man, having his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Now we read how that this place was planted, it was sown, but it's going to get to a time where the Lord, he's going to take this place out. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, another angel came out of the temple crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Yes, man, this place is ready to go out. Wickedness is finna get ready to hit its height, especially once that little device get pushed out here, man. Continuing on, it says, and because they see him, that's going to be one of the wicked things this devil will be able to do here in these latter days, to try to inoculate people with a tiny little device to try to track where you going, man. Continuing on, and he sat on the cloud, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Now, real quick, before I go back into it, because you can say, man, this talking about reaping and sowing, and he can reap good things. This book of Job 4, I'm going to jump down to verse 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Yes, that's why it says those missiles that you created, those are going to be the same things that you going to get put back on you. Drop fat boy and little boy, you made fire rain down from heaven, so the Lord is going to make fire rain down on you. Let's continue on. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. By the blast of the Most High they perish, and their blast is going to be the nuclear missiles. Continuing on, it says, and by the breath of his nostrils were they consumed. So through the weapons of his indignation will the Lord take out this man here in these latter days, man. And this how we know that we're at the end. It's right. It's ready for the picking. Let's go ahead and go back into this 2nd Ezra chapter 4, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue on at verse 28. It says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, the evil is sown, America, and all the peace that he's been pushing forth, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. Yes, because their fruit gotta get picked at the right time when it's ripe. And it's getting into that season. And even if you don't pick the apple off or any type of fruit off, ultimately it's just gonna fall by itself like a fig tree. A little bit of wind, and all of a sudden this place going down. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So in order for the kingdom of heaven to be established upon the planet of earth, this guy who's currently in rulership have to play out his course. His course of wickedness, his course of this cesspool, his course of giving people plastic fluoride all in your water, nigga target kids and different wicked things like that, destroy whole communities, destroy whole nations. Nigga just bombed a school of little girls, man. In the kingdom of heaven, man, these things would not be heard of. That's why everybody is really waiting for this guy to get taken out, Like I say, when their fruit's starting to get ripe, people just start picking at it. Everybody eye on that tree. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get this real quick. It's the book of Revelations 11. And I'm going to jump down to verse 18. It says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. And that wrath is when the season for this devil to reap everything he sowed. He reaped destruction. He reaped wrath upon the planet earth. So the wrath of the Most High have to come upon you. Continuing on. It says, in the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shall destroy them which destroy the world. And who's that? Esau, Edom, man. You know, that's the thing that you're going to get for push for all of your works upon the planet earth. You've been doing a good job, man. Nobody else could ever play the devil better than a so-called white man. Elon wasn't up for the job. Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, the perfect fit for the devil that the Bible speaks is the Negroes. And if you don't believe that, just look at the works of the Levites for the past 100 years. You know? So all this iniquity that these people have been sowing since 1776, it will be reaped upon you very soon. You know, especially once you start pushing forth that little device, man. You know, once that little device start getting pushed out, hey, look up for our redemption draweth nigh. So yeah, I can pray this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Hakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostle, elders, Millstone, and Shalom.